I'm a former pro rebuilding my bankroll at low stakes. I started with $5,000 2 months ago. Now I'm closing in on 10 grand. The wife's holding down the fort, and I've got the green light to stay out all night. Let's go play some cards. I'm coming off 2 big wins, going for the hat trick today. I grabbed 500 and we hit our first snag of the day. There's no open seats at 1-3. I swallow my pride and sit down in poker purgatory. After a half hour of punishing limpers, I make it out alive and they start up another 1-3 game. But for a few minutes, it's just me and another guy, staring around the room in limbo. Finally, the players start rolling in. We're 6 ways to a bomb pot and I've got ace-6 offsuit. The flops come 7-5-3 and queen-6-4. Everyone checks to me on the button. I've got a gut shot, second pair, and a backdoor nut flush draw. My hand's like having a rat's nest of old charging cables, some of which I haven't seen since Apple bricked my iPhone back in 2017. Allegedly. At least I was entitled to a green chip in the settlement. If I check, I risk my hand becoming obsolete like half of these cables. I guess instead of killing iPhones, they'll just need to find a new way to force sales. Oh, they already did? And they made you buy it. Then they got rid of the... Damn, that's greedy. I guess every business model nowadays is about recurring revenue. By the way, you can now become a member of the channel starting at just $3.99 a month. You'll get loyalty badges, emojis, and I'll prioritize responding to your comments.
People don't care about badges and emojis.
What, they don't? Whatever. I bet 20 to see if I can thin the field just a little. After I bet, I realize how bad my hand really is. Only the red 4s are clean up top, because both black ones bring problems. But hey, I have been known as a glutton for punishment. 4 players call, and we lose 1. I'm over here just daydreaming of how easy it used to be at 1-2. Turns are a red 4 and 7. I hit the miracle clean straight up top, and my second pair gets downgraded by a notch down low. The whole table checks. With 2 6s accounted for and the action ahead of me, I'm probably the only one with a straight. But half the deck completes a flush, making it vulnerable. All the other dead cards unblock the flush draws too. My backup on the bottom is basically Farva. We're about 300 effective, but 3 have less than 200, and 1 newbie sitting on 50. Call me lazy, but without thinking too hard, I give the table my wrath and shove. Winning 170 now is probably the best outcome, because if I get called, I'm likely playing for half the pot. I'd rather apply maximum pressure and leave them lusting over half the pot they'll never see. Everyone folds, and just like that, it's off to paradise for us. Wait a minute.
Honey, is gambling a sin?
Shit. The guy to my left gets stacked, and he's down to his last $50. He announces to the table that he's shoving all in blind next hand. We're 6-handed, and I pick up King 7 suited under the gun. My autopilot's about to fold, but at the last second, I realize if he's shoving 100%, I'm ahead of that range, so I raise to 15. I wasn't joking when I said I was a glutton for punishment. He upholds his end of the bargain and shoves all in for 50. Everyone gets out of the way, and I get to play the executioner. I call. In game, this seemed like a decent opportunity, but looking back at it now and accounting for the $8 rake, with the possibility of someone waking up behind, it's probably break even at best. The board runs out, and our 58% pre-flop equity just keeps getting worse with each card. I don't even want to capture it on camera. He flips over his first card. It's a jack. He escapes justice, but he can only run for so long. He dusts off the rest to someone else, and over the next half hour, not much happens. Until this hand. A newbie limps in early position. I'm pretty sure he's not faking it, because the dealer needs to keep telling him his options, and he's not paying attention to anything other than the game. I've got 6-7 suited in the cutoff, and isolate to 18. The button, small blind, and newbie call. Flop comes queen, queen, 8. With 2 queens on board, it's less likely that anyone has one, but people's calling ranges often have a lot of middling cards that may pick up straight draws on this flop. There's also a flush draw. It checks to me, and the temptation to win with a small bet consumes me. Plus, I've got the pivot card.
I don't even think they're called pivot cards.
I bet 25. We get 2 folds, and the newbie calls. Turn is the 10 of clubs, giving me a straight draw, which is about as useful as my iPhone that Apple claims no wrongdoing for. If I make a straight on the river, any jack would beat me, so it's basically just a bailout. He checks again. The best tried and true method to beating noobs is by simply playing a tighter range, betting for value when you have it, and checking when you don't. Most noobs are calling stations who play way too many hands and will simply lose in the long run by not getting value from their strong hands and bleeding chips into your superior range. It's also really tough to read a new player, because while you're trying to figure out if they have a good hand, so are they. I keep it simple and check back. River is the 6 of clubs, and maybe I just sucked out. He checks again, and I check back. He shows ace queen suited, and that's why trying to read a noob is like trying to read a book my toddler wrote. An action player raises to 15 under the gun, and it folds to me in the big blind. I got ace king off and put in the 3-bet to 50. He doesn't waste much time and calls. The flop comes jack 8-3 with 2 diamonds. It's a pretty bad board for ace king. By betting, I'm typically just folding out worse hands, and the best way to get value from his bluffs is to check. I check, and he bets 60. I'm not ready to give it up yet. I call. Turn is the 10 of spades. This board is looking pretty scary and much better for him. As the preflop caller, he's going to have a lot of middling cards, hands like jack 10, queen jack, 9s, 8s, etc. As the 3-better, my range contains much less of those and more overcards and overpairs. I'm not saying this because I think he knows this, but it's important that we know it. I check. He bets 75 and says,
Call 60, you gotta call 75. It's a rule. I read it in a book somewhere.
I'm a little confused now. This board is wetter than Niagara Falls in March, and he's blocking my access to the turn like the Canadian Border Patrol. I'll tell you that story someday. He bets small like he's not afraid of it coming. With all these draws, we can safely rule out 2-pair or better. Most players are going to size up with a strong hand because they're scared to death of half the deck. I got nut no pair, 2 overs, a gut shot to Broadway, and I'm not blocking any diamonds or spades. If I'm ever calling a second barrel with ace high, this is the combo to do it with. Most players aren't firing a 3rd barrel bluff on the river, so I think calling this bet gets us to showdown the majority of the time. Getting 4-1, I call. River is the 10 of diamonds. I'm a little shocked at how this pot has ballooned to nearly 400, and I only have ace high. The thought of turning my hand into a bluff rolls into my mind like a tumbleweed, but leaves as quickly as it came. The main reason I called the turn was because I beat draws and had good blockers. Now I just have to pray I was good and he missed. I check. He checks back and shows jack 9 off. In hindsight, his turn bet makes total sense now. Against his exact hand, a river bluff might have gotten the fold, but it needed to be big, and even then, I don't know how often he folds. He's raising jack 9 off under the gun, then calling a 3-bet. Those type of players typically pay to see it. Alright, let's pick ourselves up by our bootstraps and get back on our horse. In the next 5 minutes, I win a couple pots with no showdown, which brings us to this hand. The newbie limps, and a guy who's been limping a fair amount limps behind him. I'm in the cutoff with king jack and bump it to 20. Both limpers call, and we go 3 ways to the flop. It comes king 10-4 rainbow. Both players check. With top pair decent kicker, this qualifies to start getting some value. I bet 20. Newbie calls, and the other guy raises to 50. This is a little concerning, but this is also the 7th hand I've played in 20 minutes, and I think he might be picking up on that. A small check raise on the flop like this could be a monster, but I've also seen it be a weak top pair. Let's see what happens. I call. Newbie calls as well. Turn is the 4 of spades. Newbie checks, and the other guy snap shoves for 230. Over the course of my poker career, a few things have remained constant. When limpers suddenly find the courage to shove all in for a pot-sized bet in the streets, they typically have it. Just to be sure, I checked with Adam Schefter, and the likelihood he has it is about the same as the Browns blowing a lead in the 4th quarter in January. It just makes it tougher to fold when you've been winning small pots with no resistance and air, then you finally get top pair and some pushback. The newbie folds out a turn, and the other guy breaks character and is clearly bothered by it. I think his reaction is genuine, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's weak. He either realizes I'm more likely to call, or he's just offended by the newbie's bad etiquette. Especially with how often the noob's been calling down, I figure that the other guy is not shoving light into both of us, so I let it go. There's just too many hands I lose to, and I'm really just praying that he's overplaying a weaker top pair, or turning a draw into a bluff, which is certainly possible, but not probable. I'm getting 2-1, so he would need to be playing at least 15 combos I beat this way. I doubt it. The very next hand, I get the dream spot. I've been in nearly every pot recently, and I just folded to a big bet on the turn. It's exactly the image I want when I look down at pocket kings. I raise to 15. The button seems like a competent player, and he's tired of me playing every hand. He raises to 50. It folds back to me, and I go with the standard play and see if I can level him into playing back at me. I make it 130. He takes about 30 seconds thinking over his options and decides the price is too good to fold. He calls. The flop is 10-4 deuce with 2 spades. This is about as good as it gets for kings. It's not a board he's going to connect with often, but he's going to think it missed me too. I've even got the king of spades as backup if I need it later. I continue betting for 75. He doesn't believe my story and calls. The turn is the 7 of hearts. There's now 2 flush draws, which is actually a good thing because it's more likely he thinks I'm playing one of those and talks himself into calling light. I've got about 300 left, so I shove. He calls, the river's clean, and we turn him up. Time for a dinner break.
Brutal. Kings into aces. It's never fun. But what are you going to do? Off to dinner.
I got steak, mashed potatoes, and broccoli. Eating healthy today. Oh. She did not give me silverware. What the dude? How am I supposed to eat this? All right, I'm currently down 900. I'm gonna try to turn it around. I think I'm playing well. I've got a decent read on some of the players at the table, so let's see if we can put those to use.
Back at the table, we're thrown into another bomb pot right off the rip. I've got 7-4, and the boards come 8-6-4 and 5-3 deuce. I got a lot going on here, and we're only 4-handed, which makes this even stronger. I bet 15. The button is the only one to call. It was about this moment where I thought, he looks kind of familiar. Anyway, turns are a 9 and a queen, both diamonds. I'm open-ended on both boards with bottom pair on one. Without much thought, I fire 50. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm trying to accomplish with this bet right now. He calls again. Rivers come a king and 6. I've got bottom pair up top, but I make a straight down low, but also with 4 diamonds on board. I guess I just check and hope he checks back. Nope. He shoves for over 2x pot. Wait a minute. You know what? I do know this guy. I played with Dak in K. Boulet's home game last year. He played pretty tight solid and seemed like a nice guy. I guess my read was off. I fold and top off my stack to 500. It's going to be a long night. A couple hands later, I get a chance to win some back. I have kings again, this time in the cutoff. I raise to 15. Dak calls on the button, and the newbie, who somehow made it through dinner break, calls. The flop is queen jack 8 with 2 spades. The newbie checks. I'm not really feeling this flop, but at least there's no ace. I don't think either of them is going to put me in tough spots with air or gut shots, so I go the value route and bet 30. The newbie starts reaching for chips, and Dak kindly informs him he hasn't acted yet. Oh boy. Dak calls, and the newbie does too. The turn is the 6 of clubs, and newbie checks. There's a lot of hands that Dak could have called the flop with. A queen, jack, draw, pair plus draw. For some reason, I feel like he's going to bet. So I check, hoping to rip it over the top after newbie calls. He checks back. River is a safe little red 3, and newbie checks. I missed a street of value on the turn, so now I need to make up for it. I bet 125. Dak insta-folds, and newbie counts out his chips, realizes he doesn't have enough to call, and I get the feeling he might fold because he thinks he can't call because he doesn't have enough, but I refrain from telling him this out loud. Eventually, he does the one-hand mash them all in the middle. I show my kings, and he turns over 2 pair. I guess I should have told him he couldn't call because he didn't have enough. It's clear the cards just aren't in my favor tonight, but I'm not playing my best either. When Dak called the flop after knowing the noob was calling 2, he's likely only betting his good kicker queens and better on the turn, and checking back everything else. I should have realized that, and missed a crucial bet there. I'm clearly not playing my best. I come from a tournament background, and in tournaments, the blinds don't stop eating your stack when you want to take a quick breather away from the table to reset. I think my mindset is one of my strongest attributes, and rather than shy away from tilt, I face it head on and welcome the challenge to rise above it. One of the biggest reasons I used to tilt was because I had a sense of arrogance or entitlement. Like when I played poker, I felt like because I had put in the work, success was somehow owed to me. The moment I stopped believing that I deserved to win was when everything changed for the better. I started to realize that Whether it's a cold deck, some donkey playing poorly and sucking out, or making a bad decision myself, literally everyone faces the same challenges, and what separates the good from the great is how you deal with them. There are plenty of great players. There's plenty of bad players. I'm not a better person than any of them, and don't deserve to win any more than they do. I meander around, raise deuces and get 3-bet, and miss a set 3 ways. Then I open ace-6 suited, get a few callers and get 3-bet to 100 and have to fold. I'm just the table's punching bag, but I'm trying to stay positive. My patience pays off, and a little while later there's an early position limp. I've got pocket 10s on the button and raise to 18. Both blinds fold and the limpers call. The flop comes ace-queen 4. I guess I haven't made it out of purgatory yet. The cards haven't changed, and I'm just playing on hard mode tonight. The limper checks, and there's not much reason for me to bet, so I check too. The turn lives up to its name and marks a key turning point for me. I drill a set with the 10 of hearts. I finally get a stroke of good luck, and my opponent probably thinks I'm weak because I check back the flop. He checks again. After a night like tonight, it's hard to not feel like the king of hearts is coming on the river. I do my best to block out the noise and bet 25. He stays on the hook and calls. I don't think he's very strong, seeing as he limped in and checked this board twice. The river is a relatively safe 8 of diamonds. The only concern is it makes a straight for Jack 9. Any other night, I would brush this off as a virtual brick, but tonight's had more coolers than the parking lot at Foxborough. He checks. Having checked 3 times, I think his range is pretty weak, and although I'd love to go large, getting a river bet called will be a nice little pick-me-up right now, so I bet a little over half pot. If he shoves, I just might throw up all over the table. He calls. I show my 10s, and he mucks. Man, it feels good to finally drag a pot bigger than 15 bucks. For once, I'm not the punching bag tonight. I win another small pot, and I can feel the momentum starting to shift my way. Over the next half hour, we lose a few players and get down to 3-handed. We decide to break the table and draw for the 2 open seats at 1-3. Dealer gives seat 1 a king, and me a 7. He turns over to seat 8 and throws down what looks like an ace. But on second look, it's a 4. We pack up our things and head over to 1-3. I take seat 6 and immediately notice the higher energy this crowd has. Everyone's talking, cracking jokes, having a great time. There's some real money here too. I pick up a primo in my first orbit and win a small pot. My neighbor gets into a predicament and lets the vlog sweat. Now she's probably wishing she didn't let us sweat that one. The dealer changes, and that means it's time for another bomb pot. I've got Brunson's intern, which, like most interns, I'm not expecting much from. But the boards come out 10-6-5 and 7-8-9. If he keeps this up, he might just get hired full time.
Dunder Mifflin, this is Ryan.
I lead out for 25 first to act. Guy in seat 8 calls, and seat 3 makes it 70. I'm not thrilled, but my hand is just too strong to fold right now. I call. Now seat 8 moves all in for 650. Seat 3 has him covered and calls. What the hell did I get myself into? I've got 70 invested and need to call 330 more to win 990. I'm getting exactly 3-1, so I need 25% equity on each board or 50% total between the two. Problem is, my hand is too weak to ever be scooping right now, and I'm most likely fighting for half the pot. If somehow they're both playing the bottom board and neither has a straight yet, or they both have flush draws, those are the only ways my scoop potential is real. I'm all but dead if each of them is playing a different board, or someone has a straight. 5-6 and 10-6 have a straight on the bottom, and also 2 pair up top. Absolute God mode hand. And my hand is worse than it looks. My open-end straight draw on the bottom board, which is typically 8 outs, is much weaker. The 6 of spades is dead, and the jack and 6 of diamonds may not be good. So my 7 outs may actually be 5, and they could also be 0. I'm smoked by any other 10. Even getting 3-1, this is a fold. I think the weight of the session finally caught up to me, and the thought of them both playing the bottom board like 8-9 and 7-7 tricked me into eventually making the call. Let's go to a run out. I make a straight on the board I didn't expect to, and end up with 10 high on the bottom. But seat 3 has a higher straight, and 10 high is surprisingly no good. I guess he's not getting hired for the full-time position.
David, you don't have to yell. David, Can I just... Let me just tell... Okay.
Man, that hurts.
Sometimes that's how it goes. In for 1,500, out for 0. It sucks to take such a big loss. That's my biggest loss. That's gonna be the title of this video. My biggest loss at 1-3. Oh shit. Let's see how the algorithm likes that one.